Hey guys, well we got March Mayhem coming up. This is our fourth year doing it, and every year is kind of doing something. We're doing something a little bit different, adding to it, and this year's no exception. This year we have 40 teams instead of 32. We're actually doing a bracket contest where we're going to be giving away a 6-month membership, our fit band, a few different things that Syphus training branded, and there's a lot of things that I'm really excited about. So I'm going to try to get through everything as quickly as I can. It's going to take a little bit of time because I've gotten a lot of questions on how we do March Mayhem, how it's figured out, and all that kind of stuff. So what we're doing is essentially, if you've done the practice that we did a couple weeks ago, what you're going to be doing is partnering up with somebody. We already have all of our partners, so we have 40 teams, 80 partners, or 80 individuals. You're going to be going with your partner doing a Pick Your Poison Centaur 2. If you guys are familiar with it, which I'm sure you are, you're going to pick one exercise and your partner's going to pick one. You both have to do both of those exercises that you're doing and finish them before you can move on to the next one. So let's say it's a suicide and a bonsai. You do your suicide twice, your partner has to finish both bonsais before you can move on. You can go back and forth between the different columns, but you can't advance until your partner's finished it. So a lot of March Mayhem is not about, I guess, who's the best at Syphus. It's who's collectively the best duo, the best couple that works together well. That's why we print out the circuits well in advance, so you can kind of plan ahead and strategize. The way that we figure out who advances and how you're not seeded, but how you're going to advance and how you match up against each other is by a handicap formula. You know, we have different boulders. We have your 30-day boulder, which is a snapshot in time of your last 30 days, how well you're doing. Your seasonal is how you've been doing since the calendar years in 2016 onward, and then your career is based on how you've been doing, I guess, since the new system started in February. So what we're going to be doing is taking the first person or first partner's seasonal boulder, the second person's seasonal boulder, and then how you do in your trial together, because that's going to be a really accurate depiction of how you're going to do when you come to competition time, because the scores can vary quite a bit. Chances are, I would say, honestly, if you're a little bit lower scoring, you may score higher than you're used to because you're competing with somebody, so you may drive yourself a little bit higher. Conversely, I would say that if you're on your own, usually, and you score really high or finish routines, sometimes it's harder to actually score higher or over your boulder because you have to either wait for somebody else or it's just kind of a different mishmash. So the cool thing is that March Mayhem really is about being able to work with somebody else, and it's not if you score 900 or if you score 500, everyone has a fair shot. So that's what I love about March Mayhem, because it gives everyone a fair shot to excel. So what we do is we take the seasonal boulder of both people. We're going to take your trial, which starts this week. So February 11th through Monday of next week, which is the 15th. We're going to take that, and that's going to be your handicap. The handicap is the score that you're going to be going against for the entire March Mayhem. Instead of trying to come up with that throughout the entire tournament, that's just going to set your barometer for the entire tournament. It's a lot of work to go through each and every person and figure out what they've scored throughout them, especially as we're growing pretty rapidly here, which is good. I'm not going to go through that. You're just going to set it. It's going to stay stationary, and we're not going to make it, I guess, organic. And so anyways, the goal from that is to score better, plus or minus, against your average. So let's say you and your partner let's say you're 900, your partner's 850, and your trial's 850 also. Your average is going to be 850, and the goal is to score as close to or higher than 850. So let's say you score 875, you have a plus 25, and the people that you went against were a 600 and they only scored 611, you would advance because you had a higher average above your collective boulder. And so or your collective handicap, whatever you want to call it. That's how March Madness is essentially run. That's how you advance. Okay? So that should answer that question. Trials, everybody's going to compete in trials this week. The goal, hopefully, is that you're going to be trying your hardest. You're not sandbagging. In the past, we've had people that kind of eased up because we just took seasonal boulders or 30-day or 60-day in the past. This way, everyone's going to be pushing a little bit harder because what you're going to be doing is the top 24 teams are going to get a bye. So you want to push yourself hard because that way you don't have to go in the first round. Add to that, if you notice, the first round and the second round are within the same week. Okay, so that should even incentivize you even more, or give you incentive even more, because February 25th is a Thursday and the 28th is a Sunday. You turn right back around and you go sometime the 29th through the second, which I believe is a Wednesday. So it should push you a little bit harder to do well on your trials, and so that way you can just rest up for that second round essentially. 16 teams will go on the first round, but again, if you score well on your trials, you won't have to worry about that. To that though, it's also going to add to your boulder for the entire bracket. So it's really important that you push yourself, you don't sandbag, and hopefully that's a way to kind of fix that question. On top of that, you can kind of see the rest of the layout. We've got February 29th through the 2nd for the second round. That's when pretty much we're going to have all of our teams going, and then it just goes on throughout the month of March. The asterisks mean it's a midweek workout, which is unusual. It used to always just be on the weekends, but again, as we're growing, we have more people competing. We want to make sure that we can fit everybody in. It's kind of a fun thing to do, so we want to make sure that you are, we're just kind of accommodating everybody. And since it is in the middle of the week, some people may gripe about it, but the thing is that when it comes down to it, most people work out, especially that are in these competitions, most people that work out at Syphus training are doing it more than once a week, and they're pushing themselves very hard more than once a week. You can do it, really hard on a Wednesday and then turn around and do it really hard again on a Friday. So it just comes down to planning ahead, planning with your partner when you want to go. I guess forecast in advance. Okay, if we win or if we advance on Thursday, we can go again on Monday. Whatever it is, you guys should be able to plan ahead. And obviously, the field gets smaller and smaller and smaller as we move on. The finals are on March 19th at the Royal Oak Grand Open House. I expect there to be a lot of people there. Last year in Harrison Township, I think we had maybe 35, 40 people watching and cheering everybody on, which was really cool. We kind of were plotting that March Mayhem finals like right in the middle of the entire open house, so we should have a lot of people there, which I think will be really exciting. And then, really important is the bracket contest. So after our trials on March 16th, we're going to release this digital bracket. And if you're involved in if you're involved in March Mayhem, and if you're not, if you're just a regular member or even somebody on the outside that is a family member or something like that, what we're going to be doing is essentially doing like an NCAA March Madness style bracket. Same thing goes. You'll get points for each team that advances further into the bracket. You're going to get pretty much that sort of thing. But what you can do is you'll fill out your bracket. It'll be connected to your email address. And then you can share it on any social network, Facebook, Twitter, what have you. And if you win, you're going to get a 6-month membership to Syphus training. And that's even if you're already a member, those 6 months will be comped. You're going to get a t-shirt, you're going to get a gym bag, our watch, towels, that sort of thing. And that's all going to be in the bracket contest. So that's something really fun to look forward to. It's just another way to kind of get people geeked up about the workouts. And then, the seeding is going to be random. We are not actually seeding people from seed number 1 and seed number 32 or 40, whatever it is, because again, it's really you're competing against yourself. You're not competing head to head against the people you're going against. You're competing against your collective boulder. So we don't want any animosity or anything like that. Again, it's just like regular Syphus. You're just competing against yourself and doing the best that you can. And then I guess a couple other rules that are really important to know is that we are not going to be posting the results of the team that you're going against until both teams have gone, because we don't want the second team to have an unfair advantage by knowing where they have to get to in the routine. It's also important that you know that let's say the two of you plan to go on a Sunday, you can't practice the routine on a Thursday or Friday and then try to outdo what you did before. If you're going to go at all on one of the routines, that's going to be the score that you keep. So you can't go twice on a routine unless you've been eliminated and you want to try it again. And then finally, we would prefer, if you can, to do the semis and the finals. Well, definitely the finals, but the semis together too, because if that works out well, like especially in Harrison or Sinclair Shores or Shelby or Brownstown, with the way the turf is, it would be really nice to kind of have those two go together. And I'm really, really excited about it. If you've never done March Mayhem, I think it's the coolest tournament that we have in Syphus training, and I wish you all the best of luck.